Welcome back to the crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
All right, welcome back to the crossover with Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. Subscribe and follow us on our social media accounts on both YouTube and Facebook at the crossover 1060. That's at the crossover 1060, youtube.com/at the crossover 1060, and facebook.com/at the crossover 1060. And this segment is brought to you by Imagine Schools. Imagine Schools is built upon expectations high enough to live up to a child's potentials. At Imagine Schools, success means developing character and enriching minds as they graduate students, as well as prepare them for college, career, and life. So visit their website today at imagineschools.org. Once again, that's at imagineschools.org. Imagine Schools. All right, the Arizona Coyotes, they recently issued a statement just a couple days ago that they're leaving Bally Sports, Arizona, just as the D-backs and the Phoenix Suns have recently left Bally Sports, Arizona. And as Bally Sports AZ, they're going into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And according to their records, they're about some like $8.345 billion in debt. So,
oh wow,
yeah, they're crashing and burning. But the Coyotes they became the third professional team in Arizona to leave the network after signing a deal with Scripps Sports last week. So the Arizona Coyotes, they've reached a 4-year deal with Scripps Sports, and they're going to become the second NHL broadcast game over the air. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights are the only other NHL team currently broadcast its games over the air the way that the Coyotes are about to. And, of course, they kicked off their season last night, and they faced off against the New Jersey Devils, and they won that game, so good for them. They opened up with a 4-3 victory over the Jersey Devils on the road there in the Meadowlands. So I think that it's interesting that you're seeing this shift, this kind of tectonic shift of plates, as far as like these sports franchises that are kind of they're cutting the cord, sort of, if you will.
right?
You know, they're getting off cable, and now they're getting more and more into like the streaming platforms and just trying to figure out ways to go ahead and make it as profitable for them as they possibly can, and give the fans, enough accessibility.
Yeah, it's just the new wave. I mean, we've seen it since the inception of sports. As broadcasts get bigger or whatever, like we talked about it before with Prime Ticket with Jerry Buss when he was a visionary, and then of course Steinbrenner with the Yankee Network, and
right. Yes,
they go on, and now obviously everybody streams. People rarely watch network television.
Yeah, we're watching. You look at you can pretty much go anywhere from a bar to the grocery store, wherever to even like sporting events, live sporting events, and people are as much as they're like focused on their other stuff, they're looking at they might be at a bar looking at their phone because they're watching the game on their whatever
dance recitals.
Yeah,
they're sitting there watching
dance.
My daughter ain't performing. Let me go and catch this quarter real quick, catch this inning real quick.
Yeah,
it's highly accessible and on almost every device.
Churches. A lot of men gonna go to hell with cell phones, man. Looking at their cell phones,
man. That's funny.
Up there in the church, not even paying attention to the sermon. Watching the damn game.
Right.
But yeah, Bally Sports. They recently issued on Twitter or X or whatever the hell they call it nowadays. They issued a statement that says Bally Sports Arizona is no longer providing coverage of your local team. Says we sincerely thank you for your viewership over the years, and over and out. so Diamond Sports has been in Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings in Texas since March, and the company they said that their financial filings last fall said that it had a debt currently of $8.67 billion. So it's $8.67 billion. So it's tipping up over to $9 billion range. So they're going to lose a lot of money. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad because Bally Sports, it cut off a lot of the market. It severed kind of like the relationship between like the Suns fans and a lot of the fans that don't have cable, that didn't have Cox. And the same thing with the Coyotes and the Diamondbacks. Haven't been able to watch a lot of those games,
right?
Because of the whole cable thing. And now that they're cutting ties with Bally Sports, all three of these major franchises, and you're seeing it all throughout the country with these different sports franchises, these different leagues and federations and associations. And I think it's at least initially, it will be for the better of the fans because they'll give them better access.
I think it's phenomenal with the access for Suns fans.
Yeah.
Being able to watch those games on Channel 3. That's phenomenal. That's excellent.
That's probably one of the really smart things that Matt Ishbia did initially when he took over from Robert Sarver when he wound up purchasing the team. That he almost immediately severed ties with Bally Sports. Said, this ain't working.
Right.
It's time to get out of this relationship. We're going to go ahead and try to make these games as accessible as possible, to the point where they're virtually free.
Right.
If you have a flat screen television, if you don't have cable or satellite, you can. They hooked you up with. They're hooking you up with the satellite. Or Matt Ishbia is at least directing people to where they can go ahead and they can get a satellite for free. Mm-hmm. They can get a free satellite. They can hook it up. Now they have access to watch the Suns on, I think it's AZTV throughout here in the Valley, and it might be some other different networks throughout the state, but they'll have access to watch the Suns now. And
it's one of the channels that you have. Like if you don't have any type of Fire Stick or whatever,
right.
The channels are 3, 5, 8, 10, 12,
right.
15, 33.
Yeah.
45.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So if you just have that alone, you'll be able to watch Suns games.
And a similar thing with the Coyotes, what they're trying to do, they're setting it up, and kind of maybe not exactly the same fashion, but as far as the Coyotes are concerned, how they set it up is all but one of the Coyotes games are going to be available on the air and on Antenna TV as well. And then you have so there'll be channel 15.2 over the air with an antenna and on Cox Cable. It'll still be on Cox Cable, but on 15.2. And then the Coyotes broadcast team, they're going to remain the same in place as is with the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
So you'll have some continuity as far as that's concerned. So that'll be good. It's important, that you'll still have like Eddie, you'll still have EJ,
Chambers.
you'll still have EJ Chambers, Tom, and K Ray, our friend K Ray. And then the Coyotes are going to keep their same team. So, so there's not going to be any drastic, uprooting of, the broadcast crew.
Right. Well, yeah, like you said, continuity is important, and the accessibility for the fans is important, too. I know there's a lot of people. I mean, just an example of how business, how it can affect you is the Pac-12, with the Pac-12 network.
Right.
And how horrible
they had a horrible deal. And again, you're talking about cable,
right?
You're talking about that whole Cox cable thing, and then
not on DirecTV,
right? They did an absolute abysmal job.
Horrible.
Scott did a horrible job, and then they continued it.
Yes.
With this current administration that runs the Pac-12 conference.
Yes.
So. Yeah, but it was important for it's important for the Valley. The Valley people and the Valley people throughout the state, because not just the Valley, it's people throughout the state that want to see the Suns, that want to see the Coyotes, that want to see the Diamondbacks. Now the Diamondbacks, the NLCS, it's a perfect time for them to break away, and they were able to break away. They're working out. They worked out a deal with Major League Baseball. They take over their broadcasts this season after the federal bankruptcy judge. He granted a motion in July for Diamondback Sports to reject its rights agreement.
So this is great, like for the folks that are up, like in Sholo, down in Winslow,
right.
up in the
Winslow, Kingman,
Kingman, the reservations in Tuba City and Alka City, they all have the capability to watch the Suns.
Way down to Bisbee.
That's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. They'll probably pick up even more fans as a result.
Absolutely, and now you have at least two teams. You got one team in rebuild. The Coyotes are clearly in rebuild. Mm-hmm. They're trying to figure out, where they're going to find a stadium.
Absolutely.
Or build their new arena somewhere, probably out in the East Valley. They're in rebuild mode, but you have the Suns right now, where it's kind of it's all or nothing for the Suns. They've been in the playoffs for the last 3 out of 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Almost made the playoffs in 2020.
Got to the finals. Got to the
NBA finals the next season in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Now they look like a legitimate
they're a contender.
Title contender.
They're a contender.
You want to be able to watch those games. And same thing with the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are now in the NLCS.
Right.
And this is a team, this isn't like the Suns. They're not one and done where if they don't win it all this season or next season, that they're going to go away. I look at them possibly being in the playoffs multiple times.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the next 5 to 7 years.
Absolutely.
And a couple, legitimate chops that possibly win themselves World Series pennant.
I'm about to put my shades on because that's how bright the future is for the D-backs.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get them Deion Sanders shades.
Oh no. No, not after last night.
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll probably. Something tells me we're going to talk about that.
We might have to talk about it a little bit.
We might have to jump into that, man.
We'd be remiss if we did not.
Within the next couple segments. But yeah, you want to watch these teams, and now you'll have access. The fans of the Valley and the fans throughout the state have much greater access to these teams, and I couldn't be more excited for them as well as myself, as you would be able to go ahead and cover these games and not have to like bend over backwards and turn turn ourselves into a pretzel shape like the Plastic Man in order to watch these games. Now we have much easier access to watching these games and following these teams.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Plus, with all the teams that the Suns play against too, we get to watch the Spurs, get to watch the Lakers, get to watch the Nuggets. We get to watch all them and. You don't have to pay. You literally just turn on Channel 3 to watch those games. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the Valley Sports. It's a good time to be a Valley resident and a Valley Sports fans. All right, coming up next, we get into more eye-popping and ear-catching topics on our More Buzz segment. You're tuned in to The Crossover, KDUS 1060. Don't go nowhere.